It is Uncle Makara, all relations. It's good to be back on a live video like this. It's been a while, and it's good to reconnect with all of you, and really good to, dive once into this new stream that's coming through all these different downloads. I myself am Uncle Makara, all relations, okay? And if you're meeting me for the first time, I'm a gatekeeper of the flow state, okay? So I've studied flow my entire life, and I'm really passionate about sharing it with you guys today. Now, we've been talking about this idea of spiritual amnesia, okay? Spiritual amnesia. And I think we've forgotten a lot of the spiritual gifts and the downloads that we have since so many years ago. In our past lives and so forth, we've forgotten, really, in this present life. In this incarnation, we've lost track of our talents, our abilities, our gifts. But now I notice that the veil is lifting, and we're all starting to understand we have a specialty in terms of our dharma, right? We have a specialty in terms of our pathless path and where we're going. We all have new skill sets for the new earth so that we can implement these proper skill sets and new jobs into the marketplace that are actually going to help soothe humanity, okay? Now, I truly believe that self-help is shelf-help, okay? That a lot of the times when you get into the self-improvement trap, you get caught in this rabbit hole of actually forgetting, right? Because you're not tuning into your own inner intuition. You're looking for the outside for validation, right? You're looking at the outside and all these influencers to try to validate you. But that's not the way that you're going to get your spiritual memory back. The way that you amplify and get your spiritual memory back is, first and foremost, you have to understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience and not vice versa. Okay? And once you understand that, everything else will start to ripple. So I've been thinking a lot about these ideas of, these psychic gifts, or like telepathy, or, guides, and how it all kind of came together for me, right? So you have to start to understand that you have a skill set already, right? You're already established with a skill set that you can use in this modern world. But what happens is we get indoctrinated, we get conditioned, we get put under a microscope, we get analyzed, we get tested, we get completely crucified, right? In terms of the main event of our lives. And when we show up with full commitment, we notice the resistance behind those things, right? So if you understand telepathy as just being a voice above you, like this weird amorphous state that you're trying to access, then you're not still accepting it as a part of you. Are we getting this? If you're still looking at your guides, oh, they're separate from me, they're these beings over there that I have to communicate with, and then they're going to finally... No, all is mind. Right? All is mind, all is psyche, all is this mental creation. As within, so without. The internal world reflects into the external world, right? And so this is what we first of all have to understand, that if we're living in a mental universe, we have to understand our mentality first. And the mentality is that it's already within us, and it's an unlayering process, or an unlearning process, or a deconditioning process, whatever you want to call it. You could put different labels on it, right? Deprogramming, okay, unindoctrinating, whatever you want to call it, right? There's a process happening where we're out-evolving our human programming and going into the best version of ourselves in our lives again, okay? In a way that we can merge the metaphysical world with the physical world, right? In such a way that is so crystal clear and sharp for us that it doesn't make sense otherwise to follow the other path, right? Or the predetermined path of what society has for us. So this is why, don't worry about it, right? It's not schizophrenia, it's not madness, it's not all of these things that we keep, taking from the inside and kind of placing it outside, right? As a projection. It's not that. right? And at the same time, it's memory, okay? So with this memory, the soul remembers how to hear the current of source, right? And so the higher self never stopped whispering to us, but we have stopped listening to that higher self. We've stopped listening to that higher voice. We've stopped trusting in our intuition and our inner powers. So telepathy is anew, right? It's ancient muscle memory of the spirit. Hey there, my love. Prakash, what's up? All right. So what's going on, guys? So I've been thinking about this idea of the guides that we have. What if they were like emissaries, right? What if they were like Metatron, Saint Germain? What if these were all masks that we wore in order for us to reflect the divinity within us? Now, this is a completely different paradigm shift, right? So I'm not expecting you to believe it right away. You can challenge me, okay? Go ahead. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's the emissaries in one field, shape-shifting forms that only we can metabolize, okay? So it's no inside versus outside, right? The inside and versus outside is not really gonna work, right? Because this is kind of a rookie confusion, because these are human categories, right? My name is Zoom, also known as Uncle Makara, Prakash. So it's source talking to source is what's going on when you're connecting with your spirit guides, right? And you're slipping through the veils of your own dream. Think of it if you were dreaming right now, right? And you could kind of flow through the wave of your own dream to meet these different guides, to meet these different synchronicities along the path. Kind of like a video game, right? When you get to the boss level, you know that there's something epic that's about to happen, right? A grand win, a new level up, maybe a new map has been unlocked, right? And this is kind of what happens on the spiritual path too, because when you move in with full momentum and force into it, you end up not getting it. But then if you let go and align with the flow in the Tao, then it's okay. It's saying that you're saying hi like this. So I'm in Kolkata. So it's source versus source, right? Slipping through the veil of its own dream. And once we get this, we know the test of the spirits, right? We know the test of the spirits. We know that presence is a legit thing, and that forget theology, forget all the dogma, right? Forget all of the nonsense in our minds, and let's ask our nervous system, right? Let's connect with our nervous system and ask ourselves if this encounter contracts you, imprisons you, instills fear within you, then it is parasitic in its nature. And once we understand, then we can sever the cords that truly aren't serving us in our lives, right? There's many of us in relationships, situations, different, connections with others, where it's not really burning that desire within us and moving us forward. I saw this beautiful diagram the other day. The cause of suffering is desire. And so if desire is the cause of suffering, then that means that, what did it say? If desire is the cause of suffering, then power is the cause of like the change, right? Or the transformation of that. So it's almost like a cycle that we're going in, right? This is a cycle that we're all a part of in a sense. So we have to learn that channeling is actually flow state, right? We have to create a bridge in our minds that channeling is actually a skill set that we all have. Every single one of us has this skill, right? And it's just that we've forgotten over time how to do this. And it's the same principle as like Coltrane on the sax, or Rumi writing poetry, or Michael Jordan scoring a slam dunk, right? It's all of these moments that create these pockets of presence and flow, right? And so that's channeling, and you've been doing it all along actually. When you've been tapping into your craft, you've already been channeling something. You've already been tuning in and wiring in towards understanding what's really going on underneath the surface of this shit, right? There's something deeper happening underneath. And I need to follow that current, actually. I need to understand what the hell is that? What the Helheim is that, right? As we got from Baldur last night, who got channeled, okay? Big blessing, Samba. Hey, champed out. So, nobody heals alone, right? Healing is a witnessing, yo. Healing is a witnessing. What actually happens is a witnessing. Because the healer becomes a mirror polished enough for you to see that your own wholeness is being reflected back, right? And so that's such a powerful understanding, because now we know that the remembrance that we have is the medicine that we have. That the spiritual amnesia is actually a part of the sickness of society, of culture, of modern culture at large, right? We understand that the veil of forgetfulness is Maya, is an illusion. So why are we taking it so seriously, yo? Why are we taking this life so seriously every single day? Okay, like we have to do it like this and exactly like this and in this performer, otherwise it won't work. If we don't follow the format, then the format won't allow us, right? That's how we've kind of gone about it for so long, but not being able to understand that healing is less about fixing and more about this reminder. And the reminder is that you are already whole, you are already creator consciousness. You can create from where you're at. You don't constantly need to chase and create this validation trip for you, that only because, listen, there's something that you got to really understand that's so important, right? There's people following you that you don't even know are watching you, and they're changing their lives, right? That's number one. Number two is you got to understand that impact does not equal growth, right? So the views, in a sense, right? Or clout. So once you understand that you're causing an impact, maybe for one person, right? And you're doing that, and you're shifting their consciousness. You're getting them out of the dull state of a lethargic consciousness, apathetic, not really knowing what to do in life, completely confused and befuddled, into crystal clear clarity, understanding thyself, knowing thyself, feeling present, feeling grounded in the toes, right? Feeling connected, feeling so superstar reborn, right? In the moment, like a fucking supernova, bro. Like, that's what we want, is that shift, that transformation. And if you can stay in that wave, if you can understand that you're the creator of this thing, then why not explore it? Why not understand it? Why not ride the wave of the risk like you're surfing, right? So you can't keep surviving life. You have to learn to start surfing life. And once you get it, right? It's not this monotonous path. It's you change with the ranges and the movements and the ways that you communicate in such an incredible fascination and enthusiasm that nothing else can take it away from your container, from the space that you've created right now, right? And the cool thing is, I'm so detached to the space that I created right now, so I can move and create a new space that overrides the old space. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we're going to get our memories back. This is a placebo revolution. Placebo in science is not just belief. It is the important revelation of modern science that belief is like a switch, right? You press something that's a switch, right? Belief is like a switch to reality. You got to click it, right? You got to click it. So that's the thing. The mind doesn't just influence healing. The mind is the instrument of healing. Okay? So that means placebo as a thought is a scalpel, and faith is the pharmacy, really, right? And then belief becomes our number one technology, because once we understand that we have a self-belief, right? Your entire life you've been taught to believe in everything besides you. Have you realized that? Bro, that's so wild, right? Believe in this religion, believe in this path working, believe in this TV show. That's the right way. Right? We've been so imposed and conditioned with all these bullshit ideas that don't resonate with us. So why not start resonating? Why not be the glitch in the matrix that you wish to see, right? You might want to post a Rumi quote after that on your story and try to act chill about it, but are you really living this shit? Are you actually in the flow, living fully unfiltered, committed to your path working, completely embellished in it, enjoying yourself every single day, every single millisecond, and learning something new, right? I never see any of my failures, any of my mistakes as losses. No way. That is a winner in transition. That is somebody who has been through a feedback mechanism. And there's always a lesson unfolding from that feedback mechanism. So that means my character is getting better. Even when I think that I'm losing or weak or whatever, I'm not. Because I have the perception to change that. That's the awesome thing about being a human, right? I think it's so cool to be human, bro. Right? A lot of people, they talk about animals, and like I love animals too. Like, don't get me wrong, I love animals, but some people, they think that animals can even replace humans. Okay, now I don't believe in that. I actually have a sliver of hope for humanity. Okay, I actually believe that we can make it. We've got this. That we need this hope. Actually, you know what I mean. And a lot of people who come into my office every day, they lose their hope. Right? They lose their hopefulness. And that's one of the main traumas, actually, that they have to get over. Because life has crushed them down so much over and over and over again that now they have to become what they've endured, right? But not necessarily, right? If you're just a resilient soul and a being who's been through many lifetimes, you already know this shit. And the memory is coming back. Thank you so much, baby girl. And why are so many psychics, so terrified of speaking up? Why is it? Right? The witch wound? What is it? I mean, exactly. What's going on, right? And so, I'm not a Sanskrit expert, brother. You can look that up if you want. But, persecution wound is inherited trauma. Okay? This is what we have to understand. And once we know that the soul remembers the stake, the rope, the guillotine, around the neck, right? You can feel the chains that you have in your aura, in your vicinity, in the way that you show up, right? So there is a fear that is lingering, not only in your subconscious, but through your lineage, right? Generationally. And this is what we have to understand. This is completely a timeline shift of control and sovereignty, right? There's many people who are going to try to control and impose, and there's many people, there is a sense of, sovereignty. So it's like, forget microchips in the skin, right? Forget the dark structures, right? The real prison is frequency. Really get that. The real prison that we're living in is a frequency. It's a low feeling, right? It's a heaviness internally. It's a feeling that maybe I can't do this. Maybe, actually, it's always gone against my way. But you can use the same level of thinking to change that, right? If you're thinking, what's wrong with me? You can easily shift your mentality and think, how can today get even better? Even better, right, is the key word, implying that it's already great. So why are you not living implying that it's already great? Why are you imposing and trying to make it that way? You see, you're still in resistance then, and the memories aren't going to start flowing in. The spiritual memories will start flowing in when you go into these altered states of mind, these liminal spaces, right? Through meditation, through breath work, through, got to champ up and champ out. Exactly, Samba's right? So this is the thing, and this is the way that we're able to actually engage with this, because control is external and freedom is vibrational. So if you can understand that I can change my vibration, I can change my frequency, I am the one in command of my frequency, right? There's nobody else that gets to decide how I want to feel. You see, most people don't want to feel better. They need to get better at feeling, okay? All right? Oh, you're a sister, okay. My bad, okay. Got you. All right, sis. Thank you for articulating what has been coming up in my asana practice. Okay, got you. That's awesome. And so I call everyone bro, by the way, so don't take it a different way. So, yeah. On the other side, if you get stuck in grief, then now you're just swimming in the cosmic ocean and you're unchained, right? And so the enemy has got to be sharpening you. Your lover has got to be softening you. Every stranger that smiled at you on the way to work or something like this is a part of your own reflection, right? Healing is archetypal, it's not professional, okay? So everybody trying to play a professional part and look so, refined and edited and filtered and curated and like, oh yes, I must do it like this, I have to do it like this, and only then people will accept me. Not exactly. It's the moment, when you're in denial that I'm okay, I don't need changing, I don't need transformation stuff, forget all this spirituality nonsense, right? When you go down that route, you get into an adult bitterness, and that bitterness actually takes you away from the medicine, right? Have you noticed this? So institutions outlawed the mystical because you can't tax direct access to God, bro, right? You cannot tax direct access to God. Looking good, brother, thank you. Appreciate it. Actually, I feel like I'm still in recovery, Samba, so thank you for that compliment. That lights me up too. So you're feeling my energy and reflecting it back. So let's get it. Hey, scoliosis season. Let's go. Okay? Forget all of these spiritual people who don't value their health and their fitness, okay? You have become more buff, says V. Yes, I have. I've become more buff. Indeed. Okay? Thank you for being the reflection of that. You're already buff, man. In another timeline, you're already buff. You're swole as fuck. Okay? So here we go. Exactly, in asana, releasing the expectation of perfection. Yes. Exactly. To sit in relaxation and meet yourself where you are, and this is divine. Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. So healing is not all of this, love and light bypassing, okay? It's actually not endless shadow diving either. Too many people are just diving into the occult and the abyss without even, understanding what the hell's going on, right? So that's why the key is in weaving the shadow as well as the light together. When we can weave both together and move as one, you now have the certainty of completion and wholeness as a spiritual being, right? You're not this fragmented being in duality trips, right? We were talking about Nirvikalpa Samadhi and, the other version of Samadhi where it's beyond thought, right? The utmost version is beyond thought, right? So this is why we have to get ourselves into no mind, into stillness and silence, to still our minds in such a way, right? And giving up that perfection, right, is so key and important, right? So how do we do this? We do this through alchemy. We do this through transmutation, right? We take the lead of our consciousness, which is the bullshit, the gossip, the pettiness, the, self-talk that's defeatist and always putting us down, and we transmute it, we flip it into the positive, right? We take that negative thought and I flip it, right? I help him. I'm the coach's daughter, V. Okay. Do you take supplements? What's your diet like? So, I take a few supplements here and there. Shilajit is a very common one for me. I like the gold resin one. That one's really good. I do sometimes I'll take some testosterone boosters just because if I ever feel low in my yang energy, if I feel more yin, if I feel more like I'm getting more softer, more emotional, I need to take some supplementation to override that, right? That current, to get me back into that balanced, integrated masculine state. We call it the priest beast here, or the priestess beast, right? So that's the whole archetype of you're the completely integrated man or woman, right? So you're not lopsided, you're not one way and then there's another way. You're completely whole as you are. So that's a proper understanding to, and anything, right, by the way, is supplements, my diet. I always ask my spirit guides. I will always connect with my inner self and ask my guides before I go in and make some huge dietary changes or things like this. I've tried every single diet, now I just intuitive eat, okay? Nowadays, I don't have a specific diet like that. I intuitively eat knowingly. I know which foods are good for me. And this is going to be different for you too, right? It's going to be completely different for you too. So it's completely up to you on how you're going to handle that and what supplements your body needs, right? What diet your body needs. Because, hey man, it's fun to have a little bit of a snack now and then, right? It's a good idea. However, at the same time, you have to know that gold emerges not from denial, but from the transmutation. So that means you take whatever is going on and you're flipping it, right? So let's say that I have an allergy to a specific food. I know I have to remove that food from my diet. What can I replace that with? They'll still give me the same benefits, similar taste, similar walkthrough in the video game, but completely, relevant. Like, for instance, chicory over coffee, right, is a one quick fix. Another one, what have I been taking recently? I used to take colloidal gold, and I've noticed that gold, platinum, these types of things are very good for the system because it does bring back certain memories and stuff like this. But anyway, man, anybody selling you a course or a program, like selling you color codes or DNA upgrades or checklist ascensions, are playing the same old hierarchy game, okay? They're telling you that you have to reach and do work and push for your higher self-activation to happen, right? Whereas it's already within you. So higher dimensions are not a goddamn syllabus, okay? Even though we have a Primal Sutra Mystery School.com, okay? We still are an unfolding mystery. We're learning new things each and every day, which is why it's cool to talk to you guys and have all these different perspectives, right? Where we actually chime in and understand that 5D is not something you do, it's something you remember, right? So no formula, no right map, just complete and utter expansion, right? Just complete and utter expansion. So we can dine with the gods, okay? Let's get it. Upward spiral game. All right. Guys, if you have any questions, let me know, okay? In the chat. You see, belief is the technology, right? Love is the current. Healing is the remembering, okay? So that's the core of the teaching. All the rest, the rituals you do, the systems you follow, the doctrines you have, are simply tools. Tools for you to get the end results of awakening, right? And more of a conscious reality that you're living. Because fuck living at autopilot, right? A lot of people think the path of least resistance is just autopilot. Completely unconscious, completely letting go. No, instead of trying to go with the flow, you have to be the flow, right? This has been a lesson ever since I started this channel. This understanding is so deep that even a river has river beds that guide it towards the end results, right? And the sea can then flow into the river and so forth. A greater body of consciousness can give something hope. So you as a being, you can help these poor people, these limited consciousness people in need right now. The planet is screaming for help, and the planet is screaming for your need. You need to bring in your gifts alive right now. Now is the right time for this. Now is the time that you stop using all these techniques and tools and you start embodying it. You start living as the tool, living as the breathing technique, living as the meditation. And then through your emanation, through your beingness, people will start to understand what's going on, right? Shoulders are capping and arms are growing. Thank you for being here, brother. Everything said is always divine timing. Thank you, bro. Yeah, my shoulders have been getting actually pretty swole as well. So I've been doing a lot of these compound movements too, bro. I'm kind of trying to experiment with different movements every time. I love to switch things up in the gym. I'm not like the type of guy that has the same gym routine every week. I sometimes just like to switch one or two workouts up because one of my core needs is variety, and I need that variety. That's the spice of life, right? The spice must flow, so therefore I've got to keep it moving forward, right? Got to keep it moving forward. So this is the kind of the trinity of real magic is you understand the essence is really simple. You remember your wholeness, okay? You love as a current, and you know the belief is the switch. Once you have this, you can then start channeling, healing, doing whatever, man. You know, psychic services, whatever it is that comes up, right? You just allow yourself to embellish in that and reflect it, right? Reflect it. Hey, it's Helios, the Soul Invictus. Mathis, I'll give you the recording that we had last night. Since I still, I consider you an adept for life, actually. You've done a lot of big shifts in this path, so I'll forward that over to you. And I tried my best German accent, okay, bro? Like, it wasn't the best, but I hope maybe you can give me some critique on that. All right, so Balder is the son of Odin, by the way, okay? Just for those listening wondering. Big facts. Let's go, okay? So why did I talk about this spiritual amnesia topic, right? The spiritual amnesia topic is so important for us to understand that, don't you guys notice, like, during your dreams, during your meditations, during moments and pockets of stillness, where you suddenly see Atlantis or Shambhala or these weird, like, depictions, or maybe it's even from, like, an anime scene that you watch that just, like, speaks to your solar body or something, right? It's weird. Like, we've had so many of these synchronicities that you would think that, hey, this is like a schizophrenic collective, right? Of these people just imagining these deities and, like, fucking around, right? And goofing off, right? But really, it's so much deeper than that, right? For people looking on the surface, it seems so ridiculous that these adult men and women, right, are playing with imagination and fantasy. It sounds absolutely absurd, but the more you realize that, wait a second, this is the actual childlike essence that I need to move forward with this, right? This is the exact innocence code of purity that I need to actually latch on to and understand to reveal more about my inner hidden depths in nature. Right? Right on, right off, okay? Let's get it upward spiral, okay? I think we'll end it soon, but if you guys have any comments or anything that's coming through, just let me know, okay? Let's talk about it a little bit before we wrap up. This has been a great live. Thank you to Balder, okay, Brother Balder, let's call him brother, who's guided me to start speaking up like this without a filter, without any kind of, curated nonsense, with no notes, no nothing. We are freestyle shamans, therefore we show up as we are. And this is the exact demonstration of this wisdom. This is the exact demonstration of the consciousness that has been expanding in each and every one of us. I'm just letting it flow through me, right? I'm just letting the filters come off and let the valve kind of spray, right? But then I guess it's got to have some refinement. I'm going to watch this back and then realize, like, wait a minute, I'm doing this thing, or I'm itching too much, or wait a minute, why am I moving around so much? Or what are these moments of stillness that suddenly come up, that change the flow around? Or I make a profound point or an emphasis on a specific word that gives me the encouragement to reveal what's more about that word, right? So the excitement, the enthusiasm of that is actually exciting, and it actually gets you to kind of surf the wave of the flow in the collective, right? It's 3333, okay? In terms of my clock over here, the one that I'm looking at in terms of my live. But yeah, guys, let's get it today, upward spiral. Okay, thank you for the compliments of the swollenness. Okay, I always appreciate compliments. So, it gives you more encouragement to do more of that, right? And actually lean into that. So that's a great reflection too. When people actually recognize your beingness, your fitness, your strength, it's important that they also have that quality within them, right? And that's what they're noticing, is the future quality of something that they wish to embellish in themselves too, right? So this is really a gift. It's like we are these walking mirrors, just showing everybody these different lessons, holding each other's hands, like walking each other home to the top of the mountain, right? And some people are trying to take shortcuts, some people are trying to take the dune buggy up, others are like flying from a parachute up, right? In non-duality teachings, trying to, like, fall down at the mountain. But everybody wants the same integration: peace, love, moksha, enlightenment, samadhi, nirvana, okay? Christ consciousness, Buddha nature. Okay, we all want the same thing, yo. We all want the same thing, and isn't that a beautiful understanding? Because if two people have the two different, opposing principles, one person is saying, get rid of all the guns. Another person is saying, no, we need guns for our own safety, right? They both want protection for their kids. They both want the same thing. You guys get that? But they just want it through different means, different ways. And this is what we have to calibrate and discern and really start to understand now. Right? That there's a way that people do certain things. So if we come in and we try to impose our way on them, right? Listen, man, if cold showers work for you and they're amazing for you, please continue, right? Please continue, because you know that even that little moment of resistance, it sucks. The water's gonna hit my skin. Oh, I don't want it. No, right? In that moment, when you do that, the fear is gone. There's no thought in your mind. All you're feeling is the cold water on your skin. That is pure presence. So instead of treating it like this cold water ALS bucket challenge or whatever the fuck, you can now start treating that cold water as a mirage that merges with your soul, as something that is aligning you towards the current of your presence, rather than some, mundane task that I have to accomplish on this list of to-do, right? I told you guys once that I had energetically tested my to-do list of the day, and then I had energetically tested how I want to feel throughout the day. And those two are totally completely different fascinations of mine, right? So one is just the harmonic, just, cold-hearted, just do it, just get it off the list, tick it, it's done, right? And the other one is like, how do I feel into this more? How do I enrich myself with this practice, right? What beliefs are being revealed about that as I explore that, right? So it's kind of cool to be able to actually sit and reflect with this stuff, right? Because it is only through this reflection that the spiritual memory starts coming back online. And then we might as well make some art, we make a post, make a video like this, we start singing, maybe we start having a solo rave in our rooms, right? Wow, chicken, wow, what you want to say? You act like you don't know. Down, okay? Or whatever that song was. Shout out to Mike Posner, who hasn't made music in a while, okay? Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. May the flow be with you. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope you're having an incredible day wherever it is you're tuning in from. Hey, the Mayan beings are saying hello, okay? Tezcatlipoca, okay? Who else? Quetzalcoatl, okay, all of them, all right? And of course, Primal Sutra. Shout out to Makara. Okay, let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang, may we never be the same again. Thank you so much, guys, for tapping in. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, and let's get into this new wave where we get our memories coming back online, right? Giving us the right clues and the right adjustments so that we can move through the evidence of our beingness. Thank you so much for tapping in, guys. Peace. Let's get it today. Osa, let's win. Let's win. Peace, guys.